I never thought it would come to this, not after years of building a life, paying the mortgage, arguing about paint colors and backyard fences, but here I was, standing in the dimly lit lobby of a rundown motel, clutching two small suitcases and a backpack with everything my kids and I had managed to pack in an hour. The divorce had been brutal. Not just legally, though that part hurt too, but emotionally. Years of shared life, trust, love, or at least what I thought was love, crumbled because of betrayal. And in the end, I was left with almost nothing. No house, no security, no sense that the life I had worked for was mine anymore. The kids didn't fully understand. My eldest, 7, kept asking when we'd be home again. My youngest, barely 4, clutched her stuffed bunny like a shield against the chaos she could sense but couldn't name. I tried to keep my composure as we entered our motel room. It was small, cheap, smelling faintly of mildew and air freshener that did nothing to mask the dampness in the carpet. The furniture was mismatched and worn, the sheets thin, the bathroom almost unusable. But it was shelter. And that night, shelter was enough. I cooked instant noodles on the tiny kitchenette, trying to make it feel like dinner. The kids laughed a little, trying to make the best of it, but I could see the fear in their eyes. They were too young to understand why everything had changed so suddenly. As I lay on the thin mattress that night, the weight of everything pressed down on me. I had lost my home, my stability, and, most painfully, the trust I had put in someone I had loved. Betrayal is like that. It doesn't just hurt emotionally. It rearranges your whole life. The person you thought was your partner, your teammate, your family, suddenly becomes the reason your world collapses. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about how easy it had been for her to move on, how she had taken the house, the life, even the sense of security I had tried to provide. And here I was, in a cheap motel, trying to convince my children that we were okay, that we would be okay. The next day, I tried to salvage some normalcy. We went to the small park nearby, laughed on the swings, played catch. For a few hours, it felt almost like life before the divorce. But every time I saw the fear of instability in their eyes, I was reminded that our reality had changed forever. Over the weeks, I learned to live in that motel. I figured out how to cook decent meals with a microwave, how to make the small space feel like home for my kids, how to keep my own despair hidden so they wouldn't feel it. And slowly, I began to realize something. Losing a house doesn't mean losing yourself. Losing stability doesn't mean losing hope. We didn't have much, but we had each other, and that became the foundation we rebuilt from. I found work that could support us, modest but enough. I saved every spare penny, day by day, slowly reclaiming a life I thought had been stolen. The betrayal still stung. Every reminder of what I had lost, the house, the life, the dreams, made me ache. But I also understood that resilience is born in moments like these, in motels with peeling wallpaper, in nights when your children wake up scared, in mornings when you force yourself to smile because you're the only anchor they have. Years later, we found a small apartment, a place of our own. It wasn't the house we had once dreamed of, but it was ours. We filled it with laughter, with routines, with love built on something stronger than bricks and mortar, survival, endurance, and trust rebuilt carefully day by day. The motel became a memory, a painful but important chapter. A chapter that reminded me, betrayal can take many things from you, but it can never take the love you hold for those who truly depend on you. And in that truth, we found our strength, our home, and ultimately, our peace.